It's Thursday afternoon, and we just decided to bother you. We've been, we had the Blue Plate special that was only on wisdomharbor.com, and that was at noon. And we've been arguing here ever since. We've had people and we talked about the best detectives in history, and we listed like a top 10, and they've been kind of bombarding us, and the people in my own office have not been very nice about my choices, because I explained it was my choices. These were my choices. This is not some life list. It's not something Time Magazine is doing. It's not something that's done by the United Nations or the global world of health. It's just me. It's just my opinion. And everybody has disagreed with my opinion on the best detectives in history. And I'll tell you what some of them were in a minute, but have you signed up for the Life Skills Project yet? That's also going on right now. These sessions are an 8-week study of several of my books. We've been putting this together for a long time. It's the Traveler's Gift, the 7 Decisions, the Noticer Returns, the Heartmender, and the Little Things. And each class is taught by a hand-picked coach. This hand picked them. And they're 60 to 75-minute Zoom sessions once a week. Workbook and a certificate of completion signed by this hand and by your coach, and the courses are $129 each. You get a copy of the book for the class, 25% off, and autographed and free shipping, or you can use your own copy if you already have one. And you can click the link in that chat box or head over to andyandrews.com/skills. But the reason I'm telling you, the real reason I'm here to tell you about is about there's 2 of them that are about to close out. And so we're doing these with small groups. So it's on it's going to be done on a Zoom link live. And so it's going to be very cool. And so 2 of them are about to close down because they're about to fill up. And so we've got Chris Comer that's doing the Noticer Returns, and Jamie Futrell with the 7 Decisions. And both of those are coming up within a couple of weeks, but the classes are about to fill up. And so if you want to get in on it or want to get your buddies in on it, come on, because these are small classes. It's a very cool opportunity. And Chris Comer he's doing the Noticer Returns, which the Noticer Returns is about with Jones, and about parenting, and it talks about Alzheimer's and death, and what else? Entrepreneurship, and so that book is really cool. And Chris Comer is an awesome servant leader, just one of my best buddies. And then the 7 Decisions, Jamie Futrell, who's a businessman from Kentucky. I've known Jamie forever. Jamie is the general manager of a dozen radio stations of different formats, and so he's going to be doing coaching the 7 Decisions. And so anyway, both those classes are about to fill up, and so come on, let's get you in there if you want to get in. We were now I see some of you are coming on here talking about the arguments we had, because some of you are members of wisdomharbor.com, and you were on the Blue Plate special. And I know, I didn't include Thomas Magnum in my list, and people are griping about it. I mean, can you? I mean, it's like, this is a fictional guy. This is a guy who's driving a Ferrari that wasn't even his.
Heck of a mustache.
Yeah, heck of a mustache. Heck of a mustache. And so, but I mean, people are upset. I'll tell you now. Here is what I've been argued into my top 5. I've been argued, and I'll give you the top 5. Nancy Drew made my top 5. She was like number 9 on my list at first, but people have been arguing for Nancy Drew, and so I'm going Nancy Drew for top 5. Now she is the youngest, the opposite end of the age spectrum from all these other famous detectives. She's a teenager. She's an amateur detective. But Nancy was able to get to the bottom of a lot of cases that the professional people could not figure out. But Nancy doesn't deal with murders. She did, there's not a lot of murders in the Nancy Drew book. She first appeared in 1930, and she's lasted. You ask, how old is Nancy Drew? Nancy Drew is 175 novels old. In dog novels. That's in dog novels. 175 dog novels old. And over the years, her character has evolved in response to changes in American culture and taste. I thought this was interesting. Beginning in 1959, was the year I was born, her original character was changed. Now, my research did this, and this just blows me away. In 1959, her original character was changed so that she would be less unruly and violent. So, evidently, Nancy Drew back in the day was ruly and violent.
Apparently.
They wanted her, they wanted her to be ruly. They wanted to be less, what is less unruly? Is that ruly? Or is less unruly, would less unruly be?
More ruly?
You would have less ruliness. If you had less ruliness, you would be more unruly. I don't understand. But
hold on. We've got someone, Jolyn Fruing just said, "I was just at your door, no open." Well, that can't be true. Our doors are unlocked.
Our doors are unlocked. You weren't at our door, Jolyn Fruing.
Oh, she might have been. She might have been at the other door.
Well,
the other
got
door.
2 doors. And, one door plainly says, please use the other door. So.
All right, back to the ruliness.
Yeah, back to the ruliness. Anyway, my main thing is that before 1959, Nancy Drew was evidently violent. And she was also clearly a virgin. She was a violent virgin, Nancy Drew. Nancy Drew and the case of the violent virgin. I remember one time I remember looking in the grocery store and seeing virgin olive oil. And then I also saw olive oil that was extra virgin. And as far as I knew, my dad always told me either you were or you weren't. I didn't know there was a degree of virginity that you could earn. So what is extra virgin olive oil? If I hold out for another 6 months, I'll be an extra virgin. I'll get a badge. I'll get a badge. I'm an extra virgin. Yeah. And in the 1980s, an older and more professional extra virgin Nancy Drew emerged in stories that included romantic subplots, but she was an extra virgin, so she still didn't do anything. And the series in 2004 featured Nancy driving a hybrid electric vehicle and using a cell phone. Nancy Drew, technological, violent virgin.
Can't imagine.
Oh my God. So we've got these 2 life skills courses that are getting close to selling out, and so the Notice of Returns, which is a very cool book, and that's with Chris Comer. That's going to be on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and starting May 17th. Starting May 17th for 8 weeks, starting May 17th, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. And then the 7 Decisions with Jamie Futrell, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central, 6 p.m., beginning May 19th. And so those are a couple of weeks away, but both of them are getting full. So, come on. Billy Brown, hey from Daphne. Brenda, you love Nancy Drew's books. There she is. Okay, you're back. You're back. Now, see? 2 doors. 2 doors. I know. It's amazing that we pay all this money for 2 doors and only open one of them, isn't it? Okay, so number 4 on my list. Now, we've been in big arguments ever since the Blue Plate special today. It's just been yaying back and forth. And it's just been awful here in the studio. And so I have been knocked off my detective perch for several opinions that I held strongly.
Yeah. Like we cut out the 9, the 8, the 7.
Yeah, and so but number 4 now. See, number 2 and number 1 stayed the same, but number 4 and number 3 changed.
Yep.
And number 4 now, and I refuse to get off this. What was that music? What was that?
Oh, phone call. I'll call my wife back.
Was it Nancy Drew? Okay, so number 4, and I'm holding on strong to this. These were tough detectives. These were real detectives. Jill Monroe, Sabrina Duncan, and Kelly Garrett. Charlie's Angels. That's right. And true Charlie's Angels fans recognize the trio Farrah Fawcett, Kate Jackson, and Jacqueline Smith as the gold standard by which all angels will be judged from here to eternity. I think we will judge all angels from here to eternity. But they only lasted 1 season. I think they were probably good looking. And like, you know, you think in Nancy Drew, you think the angels were virgins? No, I don't think so. And the Farrah Fawcett one, she was Bionic Man's wife.
Don't be dragging Farrah through the mud.
I'm not. I mean, I had her poster. One of the 10 million prepubescent boys that had that poster. Remember that one? On the wall? Whew, God almighty. But you know, when you think about Charlie's Angels, you think about those 3 specific people. I mean, now the entire series aired on ABC from 76 to 81. It was 5 seasons, 115 episodes, produced by Aaron Spelling. And the show followed the crime-fighting adventures of, it was a very realistic show, the crime-fighting adventures of 3 attractive women working at a private detective agency in Los Angeles, California, but they never stayed in Los Angeles, California. And it starred Kate Jackson, Farrah Fawcett, and Jacqueline Smith, and John Forsythe, who would later be on Dynasty, was the voice of their boss. He was the unseen Charlie, who directed the crime fighters over a speakerphone. And they were all over the country, all over the world, and wherever they were, that speakerphone, angels. And so there were a few casting changes after the departure of Farrah Fawcett. Cheryl Ladd, remember Cheryl Ladd? She's a little bitty girl. She joined, and after Jackson departed, Shelley Hack joined, who was subsequently replaced by Tanya Roberts, who had done some jungle movie, some Tanya the Jungle Girl or something. But TV Guide called it Jiggle Television. And at 14 years of age, who was I to argue with their assessment? I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay, so we have the Notice of Returns with Chris Comer. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central. This is beginning May 17th. Now, this is a life skills project, and I've had people call me and talk to me for years, asking me questions about these books. And we finally decided, if I am actually going to write again, if I'm going to write anything again, people always ask me, when are you going to write another book? And what about that third decision? And what about that in the notice? And it's like, if I'm actually gonna write a book again, I can't have long conversations about the books that I've already written. But I understand people wanting to have long conversations. So this is how we figured out how to have long conversations. We've handpicked with this hand. We've handpicked coaches. These are people who I've known forever and who I trust, and who are not only really, smart, they have their own wisdom that they're bringing to the table. And so Chris Comer is coaching through the 8 weeks of the Notice of Returns, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. beginning May 17th, and then the 7 Decisions being done with Jamie Futrell, Thursdays at 6 p.m. beginning May 19th. It's a couple of weeks away, but the classes are filling up. And so we're doing them with small classes on Zoom, and they're live, and so they're filling up. So I want you to get in if you can. It's just andyandrews.com/skills. Number 3. Now, number 3 on my list was very interesting, Matthew, because this was a character of great change in the American culture. A character of great change in the American landscape, and how we saw detectives and what we thought about detectives. And this detective was actually put forth as a result of a protest from what some people perceived as excessive violence in Saturday morning cartoons. Who am I talking about? ScoobyDoo. That's right. So evidently, Bugs Bunny, Yosemite Sam, Elmer Fudd, the Tasmanian Devil, Daffy Duck, Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner. Who's that big chicken? Boy, I say boy. Who was that? Foghorn Leghorn?
Yep. You know, he used to, the big red guy who was made out of hair.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name was, but he used to scare me so much when I was really, really young.
Well, that was probably your parents were probably part of this.
Probably.
Your parents were probably protesting the violence on Saturday mornings. But, come on. I mean, did you think of? Did you watch those cartoons? Did you watch those cartoons and go do that? I personally, I never dropped an anvil on anybody. I mean, maybe it was just me, but I never attached rockets to my skates. But Scooby-Doo was the answer. Scooby-Doo was the first. That was the first crappy cartoon, because that was the first when they started walking like that. You know, it was originally broadcast on CBS from 69 to 76. Had Fred Jones, Daphne Blake, Velma Dinkley, and Shaggy Rogers. Did you know Shaggy had a last name? Shaggy Rogers?
No, never.
Please welcome Shaggy Rogers. Well, I'd like to introduce Shaggy Rogers. Matt Limpert, Shaggy Rogers. Shaggy, Matt, Shaggy Rogers. And then a talking Great Dane, kind of semi-talking Great Dane, because you couldn't understand what he said. There's a semi-talking Great Dane named Scooby-Doo. And the original voice cast featured Don Messick as Scooby-Doo, who, if you wonder who Don Messick was, now remember the voice? Scooby-Doo! Remember that? Okay, Don Messick was like a one-hit wonder, evidently. I don't speak ill about the dead, but Don Messick, he was kind of like a one-note actor, because he did Roosey Roo, but he also did the Jetsons dog, Rastro. So
I hear it.
He could do semi-talking dogs, Rastro, Roosey Roo, and you could kind of hear Scooby. Look out! So Casey Kasem was Shaggy. I'm not sure I was aware of that when I was watching that bad cartoon. Were you aware of that?
Oh, no, not at all.
Yoinks, zoinks, and then you going, here's Bobby Sherman with easy come, easy go. I mean, I didn't make the connection there, but it's Casey Kasem. Frank Welker was Fred. Actress Nicole Jaffe was Velma. And Indira Stefaniana was Daphne. Scooby's speech patterns, as we said, closely resembled Rastro from the Jetsons. Well, that was also Don Messick. But Fred, you think about these characters. Fred was this determined leader. He was the determined detective. Velma was the intelligent analyst, who you always figured if she took off her glasses, she would be like Charlie's Angels. Yeah. And Daphne was danger prone, and Shaggy was kind of a coward. He was just like this coward, and he was motivated by eating something. You know, he didn't have any desire to solve any mysteries. He just wanted to eat something. And then Scooby-Doo was a semi-talking dog. It was kind of a crazy. They returned in 2001 in Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. And Frank Welker was the only original voice cast member to return for Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Don Messick had died, and God knows nobody could go, roo. And so I guess, I don't know who they got for that. But Casey Kasem, get this, Casey Kasem, who had originally signed up for the role, he relinquished that role of Shaggy. He said, I will not do it. I have principles. Because he found that the movie was going to be sponsored by Burger King, and he would have to provide the voice for a Burger King commercial, and Casey Kasem was a vegetarian. And so he said, I will not do it. I will not talk about anything with meat. That's what he said. I'm a vegetarian, so I get it. Did you know I was a vegetarian, Matt?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah. I'm not real serious about it. I still eat pork and beef, but the Notice of Returns with Chris Comer. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. That begins May 17th. And the 7 Decisions book This is an 8-week course, once a week, live on Zoom. 7 Decisions with Jamie Futrell, Thursdays at 6 p.m. beginning May 19th. It's coming up. But, I mean, as we're talking, people are joining. And so, you better quit watching this craziness and sign up. ZandyAndrews.com/life skills, because it's going to be full if you just sit here and listen to me babble. If you listen to me babble. Zandy Andrews Babylon. Sounds kind of like a mini-series.
It does. That sounds good.
Zandy Andrews Babylon. There would be a 12-step course for people who talk too much, and I would host it. I want to host a 12-step course for people who talk too much. And I'm going to call it On and On and On. How about that? All right, number 2. You ready for number 2? Now, I'm holding my guns on number 2. I'm holding my guns on number 2. Number 2, it was 1974. I was in the 9th grade, and I loved this show. Do you remember the movie A Christmas Story? Remember the dad in A Christmas Story?
Mm-hmm.
Darren McGavin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not a finger! Remember that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that movie.
It's a major award! It's a major award!
Must be Italian.
Yeah, fragile. Darren McGavin was the greatest overactor of our generation. I mean, there were 2 actors in him, and he would spew them all out at once. I mean, you just couldn't take your eyes off this. But the series, the detective he played, was not really a detective. It was a journalist. He was a newspaper reporter. It was Kolchak, Night Stalker. Friday nights when I was in the 9th grade. Oh, my God. What a great show. Kolchak, Night Stalker. It only lasted 1 year because evidently people didn't like it. But Kolchak was great. He had this obsessive need to get to the truth, and he'd put his life in danger every single episode. Now, Kolchak's mission, he had an obsession with urban legends that turned out to be true. It was always something, and he would see it, and he would tell people about it, and they would say, "You're crazy, they don't exist." He goes, "I'm telling you, not a finger, it's a major award." I mean, it was werewolves or vampires or mummies from Egyptian tombs or rampaging robots or creatures from outer space, but he wasn't content to simply report on the matter, write an article, and let you read about it. No, Kolchak helped solve every mystery and stopped every potential threat that came his way. And he was a pain in the ass to his editor and to the local police. They hated his guts. But his deep research and his uncanny ability to always be in the right place at the right time to stop these otherworldly threats, they made him, he was a noble detective. This was a knight of detectives. He was the Lancelot of detectives, protecting his beloved city of Chicago from perils no one would ever believe without seeing them with her own eyes. And although the series only lasted a single season, it rapidly achieved cult status and has remained very popular in syndication. And for all you X-Files fans there, you have Kolchak to thank, because Chris Carter cited Kolchak, Chris Carter, the creator of the X-Files franchise, and he cited Kolchak, Night Stalker, as a tremendous influence. What do you think about that? So, all right, the classes are closing up. This is a kind of like a little telethon here for the Noticer Returns with Chris Comer, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. beginning May 17th, and the 7 Decisions class with Jamie Futrell, Thursdays at 6 p.m. beginning May 19th. AndyAndrews.com/skills, and you can be part of the class. Just grab you a couple of friends, grab you somebody at work, and fill the class out. Come on, and close it down. So it's gonna be awesome. I might even pop in. I can't. You know, they've said no, you don't need to. You know, but I'm like, yeah, I'm excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about it.
I am too.
So, and you know, Kevin is doing the Noticer. I mean, that one's. So I think that one may be filled.
Yeah.
Dan Stone is doing the Traveler's Gift. Tammy Nance is our director of communications here, and she's doing the little things. And then Kevin Williams, you know Kevin Williams, right? The Grammy winner, Kevin Williams, and probably the funniest person that I know. The musical director for Gaither Vocal Band, and Kevin Williams is doing the Heartmender. He's coaching the Heartmender. Number one. Now here is number one on the hit parade. Number one detective. And I took some yeah-yaing about this, but I slammed them all. I body slammed them all, put them in a Las Vegas leg lock, a Boston crab, and I got them to tap out because I believe in my number one choice. You do not want to be a criminal who commits murder when Columbo is around. Columbo. Yeah, I mean, Columbo, I don't care how clever you think you are. Columbo is cleverer. He's cleverer. I mean, I know he seems dumb and absent-minded and like you forgot where he just woke up, and I know he wears crappy clothes and a rumpled raincoat, and he has his one eye. You know, but when it comes to piecing together a mystery, I think his appearance only served to lead the murderer into a false sense of security. Oh, and just one more thing. Listen, there's just one more thing. I'm sorry. Just one more thing. I mean, we could listen to variations on just one more thing for years. And we did. I mean, there is nobody better than this one-eyed detective who he would let the murderer just kind of breathe easy. Just he would think he's getting away with it, and then he's getting away with it, and then he's going walking out. Yeah, I'm sorry to bother you, but just do one more thing. And he'd twirl around and just pin him to the wall, man. I mean, and it's not just that substance that puts Columbo at the top of my list. It's style. I mean, the guy, he wore crappy clothes, but his style dictated the high point of every story. I mean, we would sit through all this beginning stuff. We'd sit through the middle of the story. We're on the edge of our seats just to get to the part where he would casually mention, I just one more thing. And then we knew He had them. He had his foot on their throat. Wow. So that's it. Just a quick little live thing with you this afternoon, and that's it. Just one more thing. Just one more thing. The notice of returns with Chris Comar. Tuesdays at 7 Central, beginning May 17th. Classes are filling up. And that's it. Oh, I don't know about you. I don't want to bother you, but just one more thing. The 7 Decisions with Jamie Futrell. Thursdays at 6 p.m., beginning May 19th. Classes are filling up. And if you don't mind, one more thing. That's andyandrews.com/skills. Goodbye.